Hi everybody, my name is Miss Breeze and this is my friend Cleo. I really love Cleo. You know, when I was a little girl, it was really hard for me to find dolls that looked like me, especially mermaids. But now in 2020, it's actually quite easy to see and find dolls that represent a variety of different skin colors and hair types and abilities. I want to share with you today a book that I just got. It's called The Undefeated, and it's by Kwame Alexandra and Kadir Nelson. And this is a celebration of accomplishments by Black Americans and the struggles that many Black people went through so that everyone can have equal rights. And we're still going toward that process. Do you know what equal rights mean? Have you discussed this with your parents or maybe with your schoolmates or teacher? The Undefeated. This is for the unforgettable, the swift and sweet ones who hurdled history and opened a world of possible. During my great-grandparents' time, did you know people who were Black, people who looked like me, were not actually allowed to engage in sports like the Olympics? And this was one of the first people of color, or Black person, who was allowed to participate in the Olympics. And they did really well. The ones who survived America by any means necessary. And this is about the history of antebellum slavery. Have you talked about that with your parents or your teachers? Very sad time in American history. And the ones who didn't. And this is very chilling and a little scary and sad because it represents those that didn't make it, those that passed away. This is for the undeniable, the ones who scored with chains on one hand and faith in the other. So this really represents those who were struggling through a very unfair time in the United States history during slavery, and also once slavery was officially ended, there were still really mean laws that didn't make it easier for people who looked like me and them to have equal rights. This is for the unflappable, the sophisticated ones who box adversity and tackle vision, who shine their light for the world to see and don't stop till the break of dawn. And these are some famous African American writers that you may have heard of or even read about. We have Zora Neale Hurston right here. It's hard to pick out some people. I think this is young Langston Hughes, who's a poet. This is for the unafraid, the audacious ones who carried the red, white, and weary blues on the battlefield to save an imperfect union. So there were thousands of Black people who actually were part of the Civil War to really fight for justice and to end slavery. Because Black lives matter. This is for the unspeakable. And this is, a little chilling. This represents the tens of thousands of people who were captured and forcibly put on a ship that sailed across the Atlantic Ocean for many, many weeks and months. And many of them got sick and died. And they were forced to become slaves in the United States. It's a very sad history, but it's something we do need to talk about. And though it happened a long time ago, it still affects us today, and we should learn and talk more about that if we haven't already. This is for the unspeakable, the This is a sad time that happened where unfortunately there were people who did not like that black people were living in this country and seeking equal rights. And they did something very bad where these 4 little girls actually ended up dying because they bombed their church. It was a great awakening in America to really understand that there is so much violence and hate that isn't necessary, but it's projected onto black people just because we wanted to have equal rights. And that happened a long time ago, but it's important not to forget these things so we can continue to fight for equal rights for all, regardless of skin color, regardless of ethnicity, religion, ability, who you want to love. This is for the unspeakable. And these are sad moments in which teenage boys and this adult woman who are all black were killed because they were black, and the people that killed them didn't understand that we should all love everyone regardless of who they are. They didn't like them and they were scared of them just because they were black and had dark skin color. This is for the unlimited, unstoppable ones, the dreamers and doers who swim across the big sea of our imagination and show us the majestic shores of the promised land. The Wilma Rudolphs, the Muhammad Alis, the Althea Gibsons, the Jesse Owens, the Jordans and the LeBrons, the Serenas and the Cheryls, the Reese Whitleys, and the undiscovered. This is for the unbelievable, the we real cool ones. This is for the unbending, the black as the night is beautiful ones. These are famous musicians such as Billie Holiday. Great impact on the music that we all still listen to today. This is for the underdogs and the uncertain, the unspoken, but no longer untitled. This is for the undefeated. This is for you and you and you. This is for us. So, this book is called The Undefeated, and Cleo and I really had a great time reading this to you. So maybe you can talk about how this book made you feel. What were your thoughts? I thought the illustrations were beautiful, and I love how they really captured a long history of people fighting for equality and how we shouldn't forget that. It's always important to be an ally, to always make sure that you're a good leader when it comes to really fighting for social justice. So my name is Miss Breeze, and I really hope you enjoyed our story time together. Till next time.